Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Starin Town Hall. How's everybody doing? It is April 2022. Yes, I like to say that because you know what? We all forget what month it is. So we have been living in some weird times. But anyway, my name is Chris Netto. I'm the Market Development Manager here at Starin. And today we have a special show for you. We are going to be joined by the folks from Kramer. Kramer has been kind of busy making noise lately with whole new rebrand and a whole new everything. So we're going to get into that. I encourage you guys to ask the questions that need to be asked. I am here for you. That is my responsibility, is to answer and ask the questions that you want to hear. So please drop them into the Q&A down bottom. We're just going to wait a little bit, let everybody file in, take their seats. Figuratively, yes, that's what we're going to use. And outside of that, we are in trade show season, folks. So one of the things I like to remind everybody is that both Kramer and Starin will be at InfoComm. That is not a surprise. We are there. We're going to be in person. We haven't seen you in a while. I know I haven't seen you guys in a while, and I'd love to see you guys. So please get us onto your schedule. Come by, come say hi. I'll be at my booth, and I'll be making sure that people get to the Kramer booth. So do not forget us at InfoComm. We're not hard to find. We're actually in the front row this time of the West Hall. So you will definitely see where Starin is located. And it's, a lot, we're definitely in a good spot. So come see us then. Anyway, before I go ahead and start off the Q&A and kick off the town hall, I also want to add that we are in the midst of a charity that we are working with the Silver State Dogs. Take a look at our webpage at starin.biz. There's more information there. We're looking to raise funds to acquire a service animal for a veteran or first responder, and it's a local charity, so it's local to Vegas. One of the things that is near and dear to Starin is that if we are going to go to these trade shows in Orlando and Vegas, we kind of want to leave the place in a better in a better spot than what we found it in. So as opposed to just going there, partying, leaving and leaving Vegas and going back 2 years and cleaning up, leaving stuff to clean up. No, we're going to do better than that. So we want to be better. So let's take some time, take a look at the page. That'd be great. So for now, it is now 3 minutes past. Let's kick off the Starin Town Hall. Once again, my name is Chris Netto. I am the Market Development Manager. I am the host. I am your voice on this town hall. And with us today, we have folks from Kramer. We're joined by Kristen, Mike, and Daniel Williams. Daniel Williams will be playing the part of the man behind the curtain. He is here for the sales engineer question. So feel free to get all techie and nerdy with us, because Dan will be able to answer those questions. If you can't, we will be able to answer them regardless, whether it's later on in the call or not. Kristen, how are you? And we'd like to start off by giving us a little bit of information, both you and Michael Lewis.
Yes. We're excited to be here with Starin today. Kramer has been making a lot of noise out there, so we want to talk about some of that and share some of the news. I'm Kristen Kennedy. I've been in the industry for about 25 years. I've been mainly joined Kramer last fall during kind of the crazy times, the pandemic times, and have been background in Pro AV with display companies and also with some consumer branded tablets, the Wacom. So anyway, glad to be here. Mike, you want to introduce yourself? Mike, I think you may be muted.
Sorry about that. I'm Michael Lewis. I'm Director of Distribution and been with the company going into my 19th year. So I've been with Kramer and seen lots of changes, and the changes that we're going to talk about today is probably the biggest and most exciting. It's nice that Kramer is adapting to the times, to the challenges, to the cards that we all were dealt over the last 24 months, quite frankly. And I think the ones that recognize it, embrace it, and change it will be the ones that are successful. So I think you're going to be very excited to hear about some of the things we're going to talk about today. And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we definitely could use a better hand than the cards that were dealt. I mean, I kept busting at the table. So it was just rough 2 years. Sir, you said you opened up the analogy. I had to say it. I have busted, and it was a bad 2020 and even a weirder 2021 for me personally. I am happy that we are getting back to it. So we're going to talk about how you guys are making noise, but the one obvious thing that I cannot get past, the big K is gone. You guys have gone through a rebranding. So tell us about this funky new design that you guys are in. And it's apparently, it's got some meaning behind it. Please do tell.
Yeah, so 40 years of the K. There was some transformation around that K, the initial, but now we've got really this infinity, this emblem that really shares what we're about. It's the new identity about connections, whether they're hybrid, face-to-face connections, connections globally, connections in North America. It's also about the worlds intersecting. What we're finding through this is we're able to see, even though we've kind of been so many changes in the last 2 years, we're intersecting in worlds. We're seeing that things are working the same. We're sharing ideas. And then it's also about the power of technology, the innovation, the new things that Kramer are going to bring to, problems with supply chain, to, yes, we've all been about hardware, a little bit about software. We're adding software. So I think it's, the power of technology and where a lot of people are going, just with the challenges that we've been faced the last few years.
Excellent. So since you said it, not me.
Yes.
Tell us about that supply chain, because before it hits the Q&A, I might as well get that 900-pound gorilla addressed right now. Tell us about that, because obviously, just like everybody else in our industry, everybody is impacted one way or another. How is supply chain impacting you and your company, and how does that translate to the folks on this call?
Sure. So looking back at InfoComm last year, we were a participant there, and I felt like, wow, we're all in stock. We had, I say our executive team at Kramer at our headquarters there in Tel Aviv, Israel, really took a risk, but a calculated risk to bring a lot of inventory in, seeing what was happening. That really took us into Q3 and Q4, and, exciting times at Kramer because we're growing double digit, even in these crazy times. So forecasting that inventory early in the game, early in this kind of stock supply issue was very smart on their part. So we've been, the one in most cases, 9.5 out of 10 times, we've been the one that's been in stock. So a lot of people have called and said, okay, if we didn't have the stock, that small percentage, we were actually able to give you a delivery date and say, hey, we don't have it, but we're going to have it. We're seeing that, from a growth perspective, that's always hard to forecast. Then you've got on top of that, the supply issue. Kramer's goal is to grow 25% in North America. So it's a big number. I mean, if you look at the average of Pro AV, if you talk to some of the direct dealers or even the distributors, they're looking at 8 to 16% growth. We're looking at sometimes double or triple the growth here at Kramer. So forecasting becomes very important. And stock supply, I feel we're in a very good position. We're continuing to grow that inventory. And I think we were really lucky. We were in a good spot to grab even some of our competitors, opportunities, jobs, projects, because we had inventory. So we hope to continue that. We hope that they get in front of it, know that we have growth goals, know that there's, specific, we've got 2,500 products, but there's specific 200, as I call it, home run products. The SKUs that are going to sell every day. Make sure we have those in stock. Make sure we have, I call it even safety stock as we move forward.
It's interesting because, the fact that you addressed that in the way you did. One of the things that I want to point out to the folks, I prior to coming to Starin and working closely with Kramer, I knew Kramer prior to as a consultant, as an integrator, stuff like that. One of the things that stands out, and this is something that both Kristen and Michael can attest to. If you're very much located in the U.S. and your focus is always in the U.S., you may not realize, but Kramer has a very big presence globally. That product forecasting, that availability of product is what you may know of Kramer here is one thing, but if you step outside and go across the pond, Kramer's brand is as commonly, it's common name for AV people. It's like McDonald's, it's just there. There's Big Macs coming with all that sort of stuff. But I'm true to that, right? There is, you're talking about the U.S. Supply chain and all that, but you have a global products that are being delivered daily to folks across the globe.
Yeah, and I think what's exciting. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah, I think what's exciting is, Tel Aviv, Israel is where a lot of our manufacturing is done. And so that's where our corporate is. And as you mentioned, we're a global company, a global brand. That's exciting because when you're in purchasing and stock, you have that leverage. Hey, we need it now. But we have 20 different offices across, the world. So we definitely have the support. Mike, you were going to interject?
No, you said what I was going to say about the fact that we have those 20 offices, and they're just not satellite offices. They're offices that are fully equipped. So you got salespeople, you have sales support, you have warehouse inventory, that type of thing. And that is another reason why Kramer a lot of times can do very well in a supply chain issue, because other than, switching out some power supplies because it's a different voltage in that particular country, we can transship and get stuff from the country that makes the most sense. For example, Canada and Mexico, for example, we're always swapping inventory because maybe they had an opportunity for something that is delayed. So maybe we can borrow that inventory in the meantime while it's being replenished. So it's a strength of ours that I think is worth mentioning when it comes to questions about the supply chain.
And I appreciate the honesty and the transparency there, because you know what? Why can't you swap parts out with Mexico and Canada and stuff like that? So absolutely. Thank you so much for addressing that. And if you guys have any questions, obviously the Q&A section is where you want to put it there, but let's get into the presentation of why you're here. Thank you for that introduction. And thank you for addressing obviously the supply chain up front. So let's get to the presentation. What do you have to show us today?
Sure. So some of the things we want to talk about, the new Kramer, the new brand, that's kind of the new next Kramer is what we're talking about. And that was actually, it will be spotlighted at ISE. So we'll have a booth there and also one at InfoComm. So you're going to see more about this. But the other thing that's been exciting is in February of this year, we actually acquired UC Workspace out of Canada. And so that's a big play for their quick launch software and some of the collaboration solutions that Kramer is working with already. We're building on top of that end-to-end solution, or that, that we want. So we're future-proofing any space. So one of the other things that I'll tell you a little bit about, we've done just a revamp of our organization. So if you're a reseller on this call, or even a Starin Midwich rep, or even an end user, what we've really done in this new Kramer world is we've set up how to be successful with verticals. And so not only do we have our, regional sales managers, and we've tripled our support on the distribution team, working with Starin Midwich, which is a global distributor of ours, a stocking distributor that we're proud to be a partner with. But we also have interfaced and added very senior level salespeople out there, both in verticals, enterprise, government, and education. So we are really focused on end-to-end solutions in those three specific areas. Not that we don't do house of worship. Casinos have been a popular topic lately, and obviously for all of us in the last 2 or 3 years, healthcare. So we're continuing to expand the solutions. One of the biggest things in the next Kramer, or the Kramer we're living in and we're announcing today, Chris, is that we want to be the one-stop shop. What I mean by that is we've emphasized we have tons of products that I have to go back and review a model, 2,500 products, but we can actually do it all in that solution, where maybe in the past, we had the audio, we had the encoder, decoder, we had the switcher, we may have had the AV over IP, but we didn't have all the collaboration devices. We didn't have quick launch. We didn't have some of these pieces and parts that are needed for the end-to-end solution. And today we do. So I think that's exciting in this new Kramer, the next Kramer, where we're going, that we want to be the one-stop shop. We want to be the technical support for you on the entire project. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I like what I'm hearing. What else? Tell us about the solutions.
Okay, so we'll kind of jump in. So this is the 4th generation of the VIA. And the VIA, we actually have 4 different models, because we know that there are some people that just they want a wireless collaboration solution. They may be in a classroom, a K through 12. They may have budget constraints, like we all know in education, depending on their budgets. So we have that kind of solution all the way up to a higher ed or even enterprise solution that allows you to share files and do all pieces and parts that you want to do when doing wireless collaboration. We also have, and we'll kind of go into this, but we're really looking at, there's a hybrid world and there's a hybrid education. Mike, I don't know if you want to share any more about the VIA and the solutions.
Yeah,
we're seeing a lot of,
sure.
Yes.
I think one of the things when it comes to selling wireless collaboration is it really needs to have a conversation. Almost like if you were decorating a room, the decorator would come in. If you were going to, remodel your home, you get a theme, you get a vibe, you get it. You give them an idea of what you're thinking about. It's similar with when you sell wireless collaboration, at least it should be. You should ask the individual, what is your intention? How is that space being used? If you're just going to present, then there's no need to buy a device that has that's loaded with features that you're never going to use. That's why we have 4 models, and those models are divided up by Linux design, software only design, and then a Microsoft design. And the reason why we've done it like that is because we found that over the last 6 or 7 years that we've been selling VIA, we found that those 3 categories are the most popular. And if you've heard of VIA before, this is definitely not your grandfather's VIA. The connectivity now is amazing. There's no app that you have to download, and it's a very, very powerful solution. It's really part of the end-to-end solutions that Kramer is offering now in the hybrid world. And we'd be happy to design spaces for you, to show you our solutions. And I think you'll be very impressed with what we have today.
Yeah, the hybrid is a hot topic in the world of the return to office and the return to schools and the return to education. Obviously, a lot of people are moving back into that space, and collaboration on the wireless front is definitely a hot topic. So this is great. I mean, to see that there is progression from obviously where it started to where it's going. You're removing the apps and making it more ubiquitous, and the ability for people just to come and just connect and make it simpler. I think that's the goal for every AV integrator that's on this call, is to get that, no touch solution or something that is very intuitive. So one of the, let me get cut right now and go right to a Q&A, since we're talking about VIA. And I got a question here. Jared asks, what frequency band does the VIA operate in? So let's get that answered. And before we move on to the next, is that a question for Dan?
Yes, I think so. Dan, Are you there? I think he was in and out.
It basically, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, Dan's got it.
Dan is coming in.
Basically, I have to ask a question, what they mean by what frequency. All output 4K video. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can.
Hello?
I hear you, sir.
Basically, output 4K. They work on standard Wi-Fi communication. Maybe they're thinking of the output. It's 4K about is the refresh rate of the signal output, and the video transmission is generally about 25 frames a second. So I hope that answered the question.
I hope so too. Jared, if that answered the question, please let us know in the chat. That'd be great, or inside the Q&A. That'd be awesome. Let's move on to the next slide, and then we can come back and address this.
Okay, so again, on the VIA, we just want to encourage you, if you'd like to see a demo, we can do live demos for our corporate, or we can send you a demo unit. So I would encourage you to look at the VIA. It works on all, Teams, Zoom, you name it, WebAir, WebNet, all of it's out there. So Kramer solutions for today and tomorrow. This is the Kramer Control. And so we'll talk a little bit about Kramer Control and what it is. It can control any device. It's a remote control. The cool thing, I think, is there's a couple of things. You can become Kramer certified at no cost. And it's not a course that's going to take, Chris, 6 to 8 weeks. It's kind of a half-day course. We offer it online. So in this hybrid world we live in, you can do it on your own time. Let's say it's a night owl and he's like, hey, I'm going to hammer this out in the next 4 to 6 hours. So we do encourage our integrators, system integrators, the resellers, nationals buying through distribution, anybody, that they can actually become Kramer Control certified. So I think that's something exciting. Maybe some of them out there have become certified from a competitor, and it's a long, lengthy process. But with Kramer, we have kind of step by step. I'll continue to talk about our Kramer Academy. It's unbelievable. So in this Kramer Control, Mike, you might want to share a little bit more in the setup and the logic in the space and the cost of it. But I just wanted to emphasize they can learn from us here at Kramer Academy.
Yeah, I think what's so great about Kramer Control is the initial cost of the product and getting into it. You don't have to overbuy, you don't have to overinvest. And as Christian mentioned, you get the basics on Kramer Academy, so your brain's not smoking after you get the basics of how to use this cloud-based control system. It's basically surrounded by, a brain box, which we call the SL240, and we have the SL280. And that is basically an interface that has a series of ports on the back, and those ports can be identified as inputs or outputs. And what's beautiful about it is that when you have one of these brain boxes in a space, anything that's in that space that needs to be controlled, like the projector, the lights, the shades, the volume up and down, projector on and off, whatever it might be, can all be done and can be launched or mounted on a nice 7-inch or 10-inch display, KT107 or KT1010. Or if you have an existing iPad, you can use that, or you can put it on your phone. All updates can be remotely pushed into the cloud and then refreshed when the user comes in the next day. So you're not rolling out any trucks or anything like that. And I think the beautiful thing about Kramer Control is the analytics and what you can get back from it. On the dashboard piece of it, you'll know how the room is being used, when it's being used, if it's not being used. And obviously you can control all the Kramer gear, and it's really scalable. So you're not overbuying. If you're only doing 1 or 2 spaces for that day or for this particular period of time for the actual installation piece of it, you can just get the SL240 and a couple of those. And then as you grow, the system grows with you. So like Christian said, we have a free online Kramer Control certification course on Kramer Academy, and we encourage you to check it out.
Well, one of the things that you did bring up is you talk about updates and pushing it out to the cloud, the management piece to kind of manage these brain boxes, which I love the sci-fi attachment to this. I know you didn't do that on purpose, but man, I'm just thinking like some wacky sci-fi stuff, calling it a brain box. Anyway, tell me about the management piece. Now that is part of the solution, and is that something that is extra, or is that part of an enterprise version of the control?
Well, yes, you basically have to get you get a license along with it once you become Kramer Control certified. And I think Dan can speak a little bit more about what else is involved. But we know that the whole point of it is to control it remotely, and all that's done through the cloud. And then there's a menu that you have on your device or your laptop that can, you can see where the device is, what's connected to it, and if it's running and that type of thing, all through a dashboard.
Okay, I appreciate that. Let's move on to the next, because you guys are chock full of information today. What's the next thing that you guys bring to the table today?
So yes, we are going to shift to AV over IP. Yeah. And this is a topic that in Pro AV seems to be something we're asked about every single day. We do lots of training around this, the latency, the resolution, the compression requirements. So we deliver the tools that turn into AV challenges that are opportunities. So we'll talk a little bit about AV over IP. I don't know, Mike, if you want to jump in here, or even Dan, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions around this one.
Well, what Kramer's approach is to AV over IP, this slide kind of says it. It depends on the application. For example, if you're doing digital signage, the latency is not really an issue. So that, again, there's no need to pay for a box that's going to give you zero latency, which would be more in a live broadcast demonstration type of application. So as you can see from this slide, there's 3 different levels, and Kramer gives you the transmitter and the receiver to help facilitate what you're doing in that particular space. And we also, as a complement, that the network switch is important, because if you're running all this video over an existing network, that's one thing, but the best practice is to really have it on its own separate network, which is why we have partnered with a phenomenal company called Netgear, and we can handpick or recommend, depending on how many transmitters and how many receivers that you have in your system currently and where you might be going with it, get you a 1 gigabyte switch or a 10 gigabyte switch, or we can, Netgear knows all about that. I am not a networking guy. I know just enough to get dangerous, but I do know that network switches is super important. And when you're thinking about doing digital signage, or like we have tons of this stuff in casinos, I think having a dedicated switch for the AV is probably the best practice.
Excellent. Michael, where can our folks find information on this? And is that coming out of Kramer University, or is that spec sheets or PDFs right off your website?
Great question, Chris. So 2-part answer to that. If you want to know about the best practices and all the ins and outs and all the pieces and parts and players when it comes to AV over IP, the Kramer Academy course is agnostic. So if you go there and you learn it and you embrace it, you're getting an unbiased, truth as to the best way to present and position and install AV over IP. As far as the products is concerned, that's a separate category in the Kramer website that you can just click, and you can see which product parts we have for each type of application.
Okay. So aside from what Kramer is saying here, I want to give you guys a little tip. If you have anybody that is starting in the business of AV and they need to understand what AV over IP is, if Kramer's offering free training that is agnostic, that is a great place for you to get your feet wet and understand some of the terms and some of the conditions that apply and how it works in the AV over IP space. So take advantage of that. And that's simply going to their website and taking a look at it. Okay, now that I've done that, professional development clip, let's go on to the next.
Yeah, let's go on. Yes, let's go on to the next. So the big thing here is Kramer, is the end-to-end solution. We keep talking about the E2E. And so I'm going to use that acronym because I feel like that's where we're at, not necessarily just a product portfolio. So we have everything you would need other than maybe a projector or display. We've got the connectivity when you talk about connectors and cables. We've got the DAs, the distribution amplifiers, scalers, converters. I mean, we could go on and on. I think some people even don't realize we have audio, all kinds of audio, and we're very competitively priced. And what I love about Kramer, being a new Kramer, unlike Mike being here for 19 years, we ship with everything that you would need. So, 2 audios with the wall mount, we just don't miss those pieces and parts in the box. So we've talked about the control and management system, the room connectivity, in government applications, that government vertical, we use HSL, which is a great partner in HD and Sierra Video. And then we've got wireless presentations, which we've talked about with the VIA. Mm-hmm. And now we're adding even more with UC Workspace. So, if you look at it, we truly can be your one-stop shop. And one of the things we'll talk about a little bit later, I know that we have just the best technical support. So whether you're new in the industry, like we talked about, maybe you're a new Pro AV rep and you're learning the ropes, or you're like the 3 of us from Kramer on here. I was thinking about this presentation and thinking, wow, I won't tell you, I'm just going to say 75 plus years of experience of Pro AV with Mike, myself, and Dan on the call. We've seen a lot, but we still have, ways to learn as we're in this hybrid world. So one of the other things that I think you'll see, at Infocom, ISC, whether you're going to both or one of those, is partnerships. And we've talked about one of our great partners, Netgear. We are doing some creative bundles with Logitech, Jabra, Sony. These are all names we've known. I say I've grown up with it. I got out of college and jumped into Pro AV as a reseller rep, and then have been on the manufacturing side for about 20 plus years. But, I've known these brands for a long time, especially the Sony days. And so we are looking at partnering, having strategic global partnerships so we can provide the true solution, so that if you're looking for it, Starin's one of our big players with most of these partners, and they promote a lot of these brands. But we want to come with a solution for you that has some value, but also has the support behind it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the technical support or that person helping you step by step, like I feel Kramer will do for you, it's just harder. It's harder to achieve what the end user needs. And so we want to be that brand.
Yep. And don't forget, for the folks that are listening in, Starin does offer design service as well. So internally, we have our own CTSDs that are able to help with the design of this. I know that you guys do audio because I was just talking about 70-volt speakers that Kramer sells the other day to somebody who could not get a particular favorite brand that they were looking for. So yes, audio is something that you guys do have in your lineup, and it's a nice to have, especially when you start looking at, who has product and who doesn't. 70-volt speakers was something that came up the other day. Who would have thought it? Most people traditionally think of Kramer in the switching and the hardware side, not so much on the audio, but yes, I can contest that audio does exist at Kramer, and I just talked about it on Monday, so it's great that you brought it up. But
Sure.
you did say Infocom, so I am going to poke, and I have to ask. Got any spoilers for us? You got any?
There's always spoilers, but I will tell you that we need you to come by the booth and see some of the new things, not only new product announcements, new solutions, new end-to-end solutions, but also we need you to come by and see the new Kramer. What's happening? What are we going to do differently? You hear the growth. If I hear a growth of a manufacturer, I think to myself as a reseller rep, but I want to get on that bandwagon. I want to get on that train. I want to learn everything about their products. And if they can be the one solution for me, then I want to learn more. I'm all over Kramer Academy and calling Mike and Dan, Kristen every day saying, what else is coming? Whether it's other things that are going to happen at Infocom, it definitely will be the new Kramer. And we encourage you to come by our Infocom booth, which is W723, and you'll see all of us there. So we're excited about it. We were there last year, and it was a great show. I think all of us are wanting to see everybody. It's been years. I think it was life-changing last year, and I'm expecting it to be even more life-changing this year. Just seeing everybody and hugging and, enjoying. This industry is small but big, and we all want to support each other so that we can all be successful with our end user base.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call a sidestep. I asked for spoilers for tech, and Kristen completely went around it. And I'm going to try, and I'm going to continue to try to get a hint of what they're going to be showing at the shows. But man, wow!
Have to wait and
to
see.
answer that question,
What a sidestep on that
we
one.
don't know yet.
I see what you
actually
did there.
don't know yet because next week, as ISC approaches, they're going to be giving us all the employees a preview of what they're showing at that show, which will be the same spoiler that you're looking for. But
see,
you're about a week too early of asking.
You know what? Now I'll put the blame on producer Mark, who should have scheduled this
a little bit later,
not this week. We're always off, but it's reason for you guys to go check it out. For the folks that are listening and participating in the conversation here, you know where to go. You go to ISC, you go to Kramer, you look for Kristen, you look for Michael, and ask them what it is that we were a week too early on that they couldn't say on the Starin Town Hall. Well, thank you. And I'm still not through because I don't believe you. I think you may have something that you want to tell me. But you don't want to. We'll figure it out before the end of this call. Let's move on to the next slide.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So some of the, we've talked a little bit about Kramer's been around forever, 40 plus years. We're in our 41st year. And some of the things that we've added recently that I know have been requested way before my time at Kramer is collaborative devices. So you see your far right-hand corner, you'll see K-Speak, you'll see all kinds of cameras and mini adapters and things to make that hybrid office, hybrid education classroom, or even hybrid work at home space more successful, ease of use, ready to go. So we can bundle those. We have the new KDS 7 series that will be shipping in the near future. We had the 6 around for a long time. We're going to the 7. And then we have 2 models that you're seeing here, the VW9 and VW16 video wall drivers that we're announcing. All of these have been within the last 30 days. And, I just think we're just starting. I mean, the big thing will be more and more innovation, whether it's hardware or software. So, Mike, do you have anything to add, or Dan? I know you guys may have something more in depth to add to the devices. The product SKUs introductions.
They're still pretty new to me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, they're brand new. Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot. I don't get a chance to evaluate.
Packaging off of it.
Yes.
That new. That's awesome. Well, we
very
know
new.
You guys are bringing now. We're going to the next generation on the video wall products. That's excellent. As more companies start moving back into the spaces, there's going to be more attention on bigger displays, not just the lobby stuff that we had prior to pandemic, which is where, the big focus was early. But now, still with social distancing, you're looking at bigger spaces, multiple displays in spaces. So this becomes a priority for folks as they redesign what the offices of the future are. I can't tell you that I know what a huddle space is going to be called in 60 days from now. But as time goes on, we're now figuring out that the offices are being completely redesigned from what they were even 2 years ago. So I guess hold on to your seats, folks, is the best way I could say that things are changing and happening as we speak. So.
Right. Yeah. Huddle rooms, we don't know what it's going to look like, but we know that everybody's kind of doing, after you've been at home working and now you're trying to go to hybrid or back to office, everybody's, recreating that space, that workspace. And within that workspace, I think we're going to see lots of needs for a lot of the brand new product introductions we're talking about, in the huddle spaces, in the main, gathering places that people are going to be as they enter back into somewhat of the world we knew. So I believe, I was looking at some statistics, there's 40 million huddle rooms, less than 3% of them have video. So we know that this is going to lead to growth with these kinds of products. So again, I applaud our product development team there in Israel and also US to say, hey, we are already ahead of this. We know we've needed it. Now we're going to need it even more with the world we live in. So I'm excited about the additions and excited to say Kramer has new product and there's more to come.
I'm excited for you guys because you're addressing a need and you're being honest that you don't know what, tomorrow brings.
Yes.
And I think that it's not up to you or me to decide what the office of the future is. I think the only thing that we both agree on right now is that flexibility is going to be that key. And the person who is going to design the space and the technology that allows for the most flexibility in this intermediate space until things start shaking out is going to win the battle of the back to the office reconfig or restack, what they used to call. So it's very exciting times that we're in right now as we see most of this start moving. So thank you so much. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. So again,
wait a minute. You're giving me an award?
Yeah. Hey, well, that's at the end of the call.
You guys have won some awards. Please tell us about them.
That's at the end of no, I think I just wanted to state, I think the last 2 years we've kind of been in a, you could call it a hold pattern or just a different world. But one of the things we've kept going at Kramer, we keep bringing product innovation to you. We keep making, wireless collaboration better as the world changes or turns. And one of the things with the Via Connect, we got an award at Infocom. The other thing I'm very proud of, because I always know if I'm out there selling, there's always going to be a question I can't answer. None of us are perfect. None of us have all the answers. But one of the things I know is our technical support, we've continued to be Ray's favorite manufacturer technical support for, 3 years running. And so what I hear is the other day I heard one of our technical guys say, I was working on this big job. We were on the phone for like 3 hours, but at the end of all of, making sure everything was working, can you imagine how that reseller rep felt, or that Starin rep that was selling the solution with his integrator? To me, it just means Kramer puts their customers first, and we're going to be there through the thick and thin. We're going to be there to support you, at whatever time, across the globe. And so, there's some other awards here that you'll see around the video wall driver and some of our kits, and the VIA Go 2. VIA has been a strong player for us. But at the end of the day, we continue to get awards, and we're going to continue to bring the best product to our integrators.
Excellent. So, is it time for us to get to the Q&A?
Sure.
Yeah, let's get to Q&A. I guess we can wrap up the presentation. The Q&A, we do have a couple questions that came into the line, and one is a clarification on an earlier one. So if Dan is ready to go with the lightning round, we'll be good to go. Unmute yourself, Dan, and get ready, because here we go. Clarification from earlier, Jared sent in the clarification that he said for wireless connectivity, what he was looking for was like the Wi-Fi bands of 2.4 versus 5 gigahertz. What does it operate on a wireless band, the VIA?
VIA operates on 2.4.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, sir. That addresses the question that came in from Jared. Thank you, Jared. Another question came in from Jared along the way. Searching the website, does the VW916 offer support for non-standard video walls, i.e. creative architectural configurations? Hopefully I answered.
VW9 and 16 are very new products, so none of us have really had a deep dive into it. But my understanding right now is that it does not support that kind. It's intended to support traditional, squarish displays, normal aspect ratio displays, not custom.
Okay. So you standard 16:9 or 1:1 kind of configurations, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Jared, I hope that answers the question. I got one question that came in through the chat. Do you and this is a hot one, so do you have any
I think I already know.
USB extension solutions? Man, if I had $1 for every question, anytime somebody asked me that seems to be the hot button right now. Tell us about your USB 3.0 extensions.
Well, we have the actual extenders, but what's really been flying off the shelf are our cables, our active USB-C extension cables that are active. And we have that up to, I believe, 90 feet. And then we also have some other transmitter and receiver solutions as well. So it depends on what level of USB you're looking for, and how what distance you need to go to pick the right product that makes the most sense. But we do have USB extensions, yes. So
there you have it, folks. Kramer does carry USB extensions, depending on the size or the length of the cables that you're looking for, or the actual extenders. You know what to do. Get a hold of your Starin rep right now and ask them what's going on with those extensions, and how easily available they're able, how easy are they able to get some right now or get their hands on it, because that is a hot product right now. That is the gold ticket that is going around as USB becomes more proliferate. Our industry getting the signal from A to B a little further than the normal is much desired at the moment right now. So anybody who has that is going to win the race. So thank you for the person who sent that via the chat into it. It says Rupert, but I think that is, I don't think that's right. But anyway, what else do we have? We know you're going to Infocom. We know you're going to ISE. Where else can we see you guys?
Yeah, well, right now, I would say those are the main places. We are doing a lot of vertical government and education shows right now across the U.S. That's been something that we've added. Whether we're partnering with a distributor or even a system integrator, we're willing to do that. A few of them, we have our own Kramer booth, so look for us there. I mean, as we talk about, we kind of just got past all the education shows. As you know, they go from January, FETC, TCEA, we could go on and on through end of June. So we've tried to have presence there. But as I mentioned before, the vertical side is kind of new for us, but I'm very excited about the salespeople we've added that have 25 plus years in experience in these verticals and are really opening up the conversations from the end user. So much of our sales organization was touching the system integrator, the reseller, the national, whoever it may be, the direct dealer and the distributor. But now we're touching the end user so that Kramer can get spec'd in on these large projects at the front end. We're working with global accounts across, when you talk about global companies, so that we can get the standard for Kramer across. So I think you're going to see us digging deeper into the channel, which is great. And, as a system integrator or a distributor, it's great that we're at these vertical shows and end user presence so that we can feed leads back to you guys. So that's one of the, big goals that Kramer has, is that lead generation to get projects in your hands. And I know we do that a lot with Starin because of the confidence of your design and the salespeople that have been around forever. And, you have a great stocking position for us at Kramer. So between all of those, we definitely like to partner with the global distributor that Starin is today.
Okay, well, that pretty much concludes my questions. I don't have, man, I wish I had more tougher ones, but you addressed everything. One of the things that we can walk away, big takeaway, is that if you thought Kramer was not around, Kramer is here and is not left. They've changed their brand. They cleaned that brand up and made it look fresh. That's the way you guys are presenting this. This is a refresh of everything that is Kramer. Not that you guys are getting away from what made you guys famous, but you guys are changing with the time and changing to meet where the customers are looking for those new solutions. So I applaud that. That is awesome. I know that you guys are going to the major trade shows. You are, in fact, going to be there in person, which is big for everybody here who's on the call, who is heading to Vegas, who is heading to Barcelona. Absolutely. I will not be in Barcelona, but I will be in Vegas. So I'm going to go see Kristen and see what she has that she would not reveal today, which I thought I would, man,
Yeah.
a week.
I've been
What a
sworn to
difference a week
secret. I
makes.
just can't do it. I can't do it today, but I'll definitely be able to share at InfoComm. So come see us, set up a meeting with Mike, Dan, or myself. Our entire sales team will be there to answer any questions. Put your hands on the product. I'm really excited. One of the great feedbacks we got from last InfoComm, Chris, was we had tons of product in the booth. So all of us geeks, or I call it, the geeky nerds, can touch, feel, figure out what it has, what it doesn't, what do we need, the quality of the product, which has been amazing at Kramer. So yeah, we'd love to see you, and we'd love to show you all the new information, new products, new things that are coming at InfoComm.
It's great that you actually are going to be there. And I don't want to say that lightly, but if the folks like us are coming back to a show, it's nice to see that the manufacturers are going to be there and bring product. Yes. And have some announcements. That the last 2 years, you guys weren't just sitting there waiting for something to pop up. You guys were actually doing the R&D. So I'm happy to and excited to see what you guys have coming. I was going to offer you like $5. Maybe you can, kind of tell me what was going on through the chat.
Right.
Here, you apparently are a sphinx. I can't read. I can't get the no.
Yeah, I'm trying to have that face.
This leads us to the end. Oh, but before we go, it's not a town hall unless we're giving away a prize. So today's winner of the $50 Amazon gift card is, according to producer Mark, who ran the Randomator Spinatron thing offline. Jared, you are the winner of the $50 gift card. And producer Mark will be sending you the information there. Congratulations on winning that. Guys, before we shut it down and get ready to say goodbye, and the next time we'll see you will be at InfoComm, or for some people at ISE, where can we find out more information about Kramer?
Yes, go to our website. We're relaunching a new website, but the website's out there. It's Kramer.com. So go out there and check it out. And also you'll see a section with Kramer Academy. I would encourage you to challenge yourself to do a few classes, as I continue to do that too. I think it's awesome to continue to learn and improve your knowledge. Anybody that reaches out and gives us some feedback, we'd love for you to model or show the Kramer brand out there. So we're encouraging you to be a part of the Kramer team, and we cannot wait to work with any build of material opportunities you have. We are here to help.
Sounds good. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
thanks,
so much. Just a reminder, a little bit of housekeeping for the folks that are attending our next town hall will be on the 12th, and that will feature Aver. Aver will be here, and we're going to dig down and see if Aver will tell us what they're taking to InfoComm. We're going to try. Maybe they'll be a little easier to persuade than the folks from Kramer, who just won't give up the secrets. So you have to go see them at the trade show to see what they got. And hopefully, if anybody's on here from ISE, please send us pictures and feedback from ISE, because in case they decide to, loose lips sink ships, if they're out there showing products, let us know back in the States, please. We want to know. We want to know, because we got to know. That's our business. Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you so much, Michael and Dan, for coming on our Starin Town Hall. We appreciate you guys as partners, and we appreciate you guys coming on here and answering questions for our folks and giving us a nice, go through of what has changed, what's up, and an update and a refresh of Kramer, your products, everything that you guys brought to the table. It looks super interesting. Glad to see that you guys are thriving in the wacky world we're living in right now, as things are developing and changing daily, it seems like. Thank you so much. And I guess this is where we're going to say goodbye. My name's Chris Netto. I am the market development manager here at Starin. You can catch me here every month doing the town hall. We will again be doing a town hall on the 12th, the next one coming up, and then we'll be InfoComm. Do not forget to stop by our booth. We will be at the InfoComm trade show in Vegas. I would love to see you guys as well, and I'll take you over to the Kramer booth and show you, exactly what they brought that they wouldn't tell me today on the show. This is just, I can't get past that. This is just frustrating. I can't sneak anything out of that bothers me. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Starin Town Hall.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.